I would say initial testing with the emergency vet and, trying to get everything under control, we were at about 10 grand.
Welcome to another episode of Bleep the Budget. I am your host, Meghan McDonald. They are cute, they're furry, they sometimes ruin our furniture. We're talking today about pets and the expenses that come with them, because while we all know and love them, they are a little bit expensive sometimes. How are pet owners giving their pets the best lives they possibly can while also not blowing their own budgets? To help me do just that, today on the show, I am joined by my good friend and coworker, Nicole Maier. She is joining us today because I've known her for 8 years, and throughout the time, I've heard plenty of stories about her pets, their adventures, and all their expenses. And more than once, I have found myself asking the question, how do they pay for all this stuff with their pets? Today, we're going to find out how. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We finally got you on after all this time. Nicole's been really digging her heels in about being a guest on the podcast. I thought she'd be a great person for many subjects, but today we finally got her with the pets.
This will be a much more interesting topic of conversation with me.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Nicole, let's first start by you just telling everybody a little bit about yourself and about Bill, your guys' family.
Well, so I have been in Traverse City for 12 years, worked with Meghan at Forefront for 8. I'm married. My husband and I have been married for 33 years. And through those 33 years, we did not have children. However, we had furry babies. So we've had 7 dogs and 4 cats throughout all of those years. So I was the expert on pet expenses when Meghan asked about this.
7 dogs and 4 cats. Mm-hmm. And in how many years did you say?
We've been married 33, but we got our first puppy when we were 3 years into marriage. So over 30 years.
It's a lot of animals.
Yep.
So how many pets do you currently have right now?
We currently have 2. We have 1 dog and 1 cat.
Okay. And it's dogs and cats only that you've owned throughout the years. You've never had lizards or spiders or snakes, anything like that?
Nope, dogs and cats only.
Okay. Have you and Bill always been animal people then?
We have, actually. So I was an animal lover from a young age. My parents loved dogs and cats, so we had them growing up. And I can remember just even as a kid when the claymation Christmas movies came out, I could not watch Rudolph because I always felt like they were mean to Rudolph.
They are mean to Rudolph.
And it was the whole animal, the cruelty to animal concept in my little brain as a child. And I just could not handle any movies or books where people were mean to animals or they suffered in any way. And I think so that and just growing up with animals, as soon as Bill and I were in our first house, we both said, no, we want to get a dog.
Okay.
And Bill was raised on a farm, but does not have that same farm mentality that a lot of farmers do with animals. Mm-hmm. He had a little bit more of a soft heart. So he's actually probably got a bigger heart towards animals than I do.
So are you that type of person then, if you're watching a movie or reading a book and something negative happens to an animal, can you get through it or are you immediately turning it off?
No, I'm immediately turning it off.
Okay.
And I do that because I pushed myself through Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey when I was in my very early 20s and did not think I would recover from that. So no, I just turn it off.
But that has, spoiler alert, that has a happy ending.
It does. It does. There's a lot of emotions through that movie.
There are, yes. Especially that end, man. Mm-hmm. When they're looking up that hill and is Shadow going to come home? You just remember that anxiety as a kid all too well. And he comes slowly trotting down.
Yes. And I mean, that anxiety is ramped up when you're like 23 watching that movie.
Hey, I get it. I have Isla, a toddler, and we've started going back into old movies that I watched as a kid. We haven't done like a lot of new movies yet, but I had Homeward Bound on because she loves dogs. Mm-hmm. And it was a totally different ball game watching it as an adult opposed to watching it as a kid.
Yeah. It's hard. I even cried through 101 Dalmatians and The Lion King when my stepdaughter was younger at the time, and I yeah, those were hard.
Yeah, they are. They are. Oh, well, do you remember your first pet as an adult that you and Bill got together?
I do. So we had 2 kittens that we had gotten from my brother-in-law's farm. They were just stray kittens that needed a home.
Oh.
And so we took them in, and their names were Miko and Abu.
Oh.
They were Disney babies.
Love that.
Yes. And we had them for probably, oh my gosh. I would say we had them, Miko, they were both probably about 18-ish when they died. One was actually a little older when we got her, and then the other one was a little younger. So we had them for quite a few years.
Yeah, 18's a while for a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those were our first pets together.
And how easy of pets expense-wise would you say they were?
So those 2 were pretty easy. We did not have any health issues with them. So it was just your normal maintenance and vet visits. So I would say cost-wise, they were very, very low expense.
Okay. When you get a new pet, because you've obviously had a fair share of new pets over the years, besides the initial cost of purchasing the pet, what expenses are you prepared for, would you say?
I would say the initial vet visit and the annual shots and vaccinations that they need, and food.
Okay. Rough estimate you could put on, maybe what you're spending on just a standard annual vet visit.
I would say, gosh, back then, it was much less expensive than it is now. I would say now you're looking at probably about $1,000
for a year. You think annual? I'd say that's fair
for just a regular vet visits. Is probably $1,000.
I've never added up food on pets. I mean, I should. I guess it probably is pretty close to the same, depending on the size of an animal.
Correct.
That you have.
And the type of food that you buy. If you do fresh, obviously you're going to end up with a huge expense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say you can probably guesstimate maybe $1,000 to $1,500 for food.
Yeah. Man, when you look at it that way.
Yeah. It's that's why you just don't look at it.
Yeah, that's why you just don't do. That's why we don't add up those numbers except for today. So looking back on when you got your first pet and your expectations of vet bills back then, were those expectations realistic, would you say? Or
they were with our first puppy that we got. So again, Miko and Abu were very low maintenance. So we got a puppy and we got her from the Humane Society. So the purchase price was, it was $150 to donate to the Humane Society. And they had already spayed her and did all of her initial vaccines. So cost-wise right out of the gate, which again, that was, 30 years ago, was minimal.
Okay.
She was probably one of the healthiest dogs we've ever had. And we had her for 14 years. And so I would say, on average, her expenses per year were probably maybe $1,500 per year until she got older and then started to have some health issues. And then that obviously increases that. But she, again, was probably the healthiest one that we've ever had.
Okay.
So and her expenses it's kind of hard to gauge how much we've spent over the years based on her, just because she was so easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest pet expense that people are not expecting or necessarily prepared for?
Emergencies.
Yeah.
Them getting sick because they've gotten into rabbit droppings in your backyard.
I feel like you've been down this road before.
There's a history there. So I would say the unexpected stomach issues that every dog will experience.
Yeah.
And you've got the cleanup and you've got the vet visits to get them, make sure that that's the only thing going on. And then the medications to get their stomach back to normal. And then you have to do boiled rice and hamburger or ground chicken to feed them for a week because everything's got to go back to normal. So those were just some of the unexpected costs at that point that we were not prepared for.
Tell us that story then, if you're willing, because I feel like there's definitely a story there with rabbit droppings and a dog.
Yes. So I will say, again, in the 7 dogs that we've had, every single one of them has gone out into the backyard. If you leave them unattended, everybody's got bunnies running around their yard and they like to leave little droppings. They tend to carry what is called giardia.
Oh, okay.
And
Yep.
It creates an intestinal issue. And so our first dog, Greta, that was probably one of the only issues we had with her was she would get out there and she would eat the bunny poop, for lack of a better term. And then it was a week of, well, I'll back that up. So when you discover that is an issue, we've always crated our dogs.
Okay.
And there's nothing worse than coming home from work and opening your door and your dog has gotten sick in their crate. And when I say sick, I mean both ends.
Oh.
And they're in a crate. So there's been a lot of times where, crates are drug out to the yard, crates are hosed down, dogs are cleaned off, bathed, taken to the vet to find out what's wrong. And, so again, every dog that we have had has gone through that.
Wow. Can I ask what that ended up costing you in the end?
Probably only a couple $100 because you're there at the time we had a vet that was really close to our house and they didn't really do emergency type things. So we were able to get her in without an emergency visit, which that's where a lot of the cost comes in. But I would say maybe a couple $100.
Okay.
Between medications and vet visit and, and then you got to go out and buy the rice and the
chicken,
the meat to boil.
Yep. Okay.
So,
well, so it sounds like you made off decent with that one.
Yeah. And it's kind of a rite of passage. I think that everybody that has a dog goes through.
Yeah. We haven't had bunny poop, but I do have a dog. His name's Ash. I was eating chicken wings, I remember once, and he has never been a dog, thankfully, that gets up on the table and takes scraps or anything. He's a big dog, so he can totally jump up if he wants to, and he never has. For some reason, he did. I walked out of the room, and I guess he decided he was hungry, and he ate the bones of the chicken wings.
Oh, no. Okay.
I know, and I immediately flipped out because Google.
Yes.
So I freaked out. I called the vet, and I have to give a shout out to our vet out at Williamsburg Animal Hospital because she actually called me back after hours. She was not on the clock at all. I was doing something and I wasn't able to answer the phone, but she left me this super sweet voicemail and told me, just monitor things. He should be okay. If we see this, then we can explore the next step. But she's like, nope, you're going to be okay. But I was freaking out because Google was telling me that chicken wing bones were the worst thing ever.
Correct.
So
you are not wrong on freaking out.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
Yep. So we got through it, but no bunny poop yet. So we didn't actually have the intestinal stuff, but believe it that I walked around in the yard and followed him and made sure that he had bowel movements for like the next 48 hours. Yeah. So that's a treat.
That goes back to a question you asked me earlier about what is something that you did not expect.
Yeah.
Being very, very focused on your dog's bowel movements. You become like, oh, did so-and-so poop today? Or, hey, did they do this? And while it sounds silly, it's definitely, if they go days without doing that, it's definitely indicative of a health issue. So yes, it's kind of like with your children. You always make sure that like they did this today or they did this. And so, that's probably one of the things that I was not expecting. So focused on my dog's poop.
Right. No, who would be? I get it.
Right.
What has surprised you most about cost with animals, would you say? Was there anything that you were like, I wasn't prepared that we would spend this much money on these kinds of things?
So we have always, outside of Greta, our first dog, we have had dogs that have had health issues. And unbeknownst to us, our second dog that we brought in when we had Greta as a puppy, we rescued him from a shelter, and it was a kill shelter. And so we're like, okay, we're going to take him. And we took him to the vet to have him checked, and he had heartworms.
Oh.
And so a lot of people would have taken him back to the shelter, but Bill and I are obviously, once we're in, we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to go through heartworm treatment for him initially right off the bat. And doing that with a puppy because once they start that treatment, and Harley was an Akita, so he was a bigger dog. He was older. He was about 7 when we got him. And then we have like Greta, who is, I think she was maybe 1 or 1.5 at that point. So still very rambunctious.
Mm-hmm.
Once they start that heartworm treatment, they can't be active.
Mm.
And so that was kind of a struggle. But the expense for the heartworm treatment right off the bat was we were fortunate enough that it did not create a financial hardship for us. But a lot of people would not have been able to cover that cost.
I hear about heartworm stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what that cost roughly?
So I would say for back in the day, because that again was way way many years ago, we probably spent about $5,000 because it's a 3-course treatment. At that point, it was a 3-course treatment.
Wow!
And so it was about $5,000 over the course of I think it was about a 6-month period.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask. This is, I don't know, call it confession, maybe.
Yeah.
At any point in that journey, I mean, be honest, did you ever think like, should we keep doing this? Is this worth it? Or, it's your pet, so it's part of your family. I mean, what's that mindset like?
I would say no. We've never, well, I'll back that up. With Harley at that point, no, we did not have that thought. We had a dog couple dogs later, where we got to that point a little bit, but more from the perspective of what are we doing to him? It wasn't the financial piece. It was more, what is the outcome going to be and what kind of quality of life is he going to have?
Right.
So we did have that thought at one point, but a little later. Now, not with Harley and the heartworms.
Okay. And he turned out good with the heartworms. He did.
We ended up having him for another 7 years.
Wow. That's awesome. Because I'd assume it's a pretty high risk that sometimes they don't always make it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Wow. That's great. Well, good. I'm glad that all turned out well. Yes. Expensive, but it turned out good.
Yes.
Your current pets, do they live up to the stereotype of being expensive, would you say?
The current ones right now living in my household, yes and no.
Okay.
We have a Newfoundland.
Okay.
So just...
And what is Rosie?
Rosie. Food-wise, I mean, I would say the food's maybe a little more expensive, and she gets canned pumpkin on her food every day. So we have the pumpkin expense, and then we've also discovered that she also would like blueberries and strawberries on her food.
Oh,
so we have
what a princess
fruit expense. But overall, she's extremely healthy. Knock on wood. So yes, currently. I would say that they kind of do live up to the normal expenses that you would expect.
And you have one cat right now.
I have one cat who is almost 18.
Okay. Is this Lucy?
Lucy.
Okay.
Yes.
She an expensive kitty cat?
She is not.
Okay.
Nope, she is not at all. She thinks she's a dog, but no, she's not expensive. She's an inside cat, has never seen the outside, and is just hanging on.
Okay. All right. So, she's not the one on anxiety medication then?
Nope, that was Bella.
Okay. That's
her soul.
Oh, yes. Rest her soul. Rest in peace, Bella. Nicole, was there ever a vet bill besides the heartworms that made you go, oh, wow?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about it.
Where shall I begin? So we'll fast forward from Harley to the heartworm Harley, to we had Luke, our German Shepherd, who had his own set of expenses. But then we got Gunther, who was another dog that we had rescued from a shelter. I
feel like, okay, we're keeping track here. We've had Greta, we've had Harley, we've had Luke, and now we have Gunther.
Correct.
Okay, I'm there. Go.
Okay. So Luke's expenses came from the extensive training that we needed to put him in.
Okay.
We took him from my in-laws because they could not take care of him, and he was a 7-month-old German Shepherd.
Okay.
Who had been running loose on a farm.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds
very
like he
friendly,
needs training.
But needed training. So we did a very extensive 2-week ship him away to training, and then went on a cruise while we did that. So we had the expense of the cruise and the expense of his training.
Wow, good for you.
But overall, after that, he was a great dog. So then moving into Gunther, who we had Luke and Greta. We had lost Harley in there. Greta was like kind of she was about 14 at that point. So she was kind of on her way out. So we had Greta and we had Luke. And then my husband was left unattended one day on Christmas Eve and went to the local shelter in the town that we lived in Illinois, and came home with a puppy that had a hair lip.
Okay. What's a hair lip?
So his lip was like deformed.
Oh, okay.
And so he was 4 months old, and he's like, nobody's going to adopt him. I just felt like, God led me into the shelter. We've got to get this puppy. He's like, nobody's going to take him. And I mean, what am I going to do? It's like, he's already got this dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we ended up with Gunther, who was just a sweet, sweet, sweet boy. And we had him maybe 2 years.
Okay.
I think he was about 2 years old. And I laugh now. At the time, it was not funny. We had just gone through a huge remodel in our house and had all hardwood floors put in. And I had literally just put new area rugs down in the family room and our bedroom.
Okay.
And we were having family over. Again, we're around the holidays. We were going to have family over. And he started getting sick.
Uh-oh.
And like any other... or even like a kid, when they're going to throw up, they always come and stand over their mom in bed and go, hey, I'm going to be sick. He was having diarrhea and vomiting.
Oh, buddy.
All over my new area rug. So, that had to get put on the back burner because at this point, I mean, he was violently ill. And so we had to take him to the emergency vet, which was about 40 minutes north of where we lived. And to keep a very long story short, he ended up, we did months and months and months of treatment to figure out what was wrong with him and testing and all of that. He had inflammatory bowel disease.
Oh.
So you can imagine the cost.
I can't, though.
Okay.
No, I don't think I can, especially if you're going to tell me a higher cost than the heartworm medication.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
Definitely. Yes.
All right. Give it to us. What is it?
I would say initial testing with the emergency vet and, trying to get everything under control. We were at about 10 grand right out of the gate. And so
just testing.
And then medications. But it gets better or it gets worse, however you want to look at it. Oh, so once they figured out what his issue was, we got him on a really good dietary protocol where he could have literally nothing but this prescription food. So no treats, no blueberries or strawberries or nothing, literally all this food. That was it. Because we also put him on it was a drug called, I think, Atopica. And I believe they used it for, it was kind of like a chemo drug that they use in adults back in the day. I don't know if they still do. But it suppressed his immune system. And we had him on that for about 9 months. That with the special food. And that medication was about $600 a month. And so we did this for 9 months.
Oh my God.
And he was super healthy at that point. We'd gotten everything under control. And we just always would stop and think, people think we're nuts for doing this because of how much money we have spent. But we did not have children. And we were always very fortunate and had really, really good jobs and had the disposable income. So we were not in a financial hardship when we did this. And so that was just kind of where we put our love into the dogs. And so Gunther was probably the one that at the time, as we're going through this, we thought, okay, at some point, do we just say this is not a good quality of life for him?
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, we got him kind of past the worst of it, and we got him on a really good, protocol. And so anybody that came into the house, it was do not drop food on the floor. Do not give him treats. Do not give him anything.
That's so stressful.
It was. And, so yeah, it was stressful, but we got him to a point where he was really healthy. And it was about that time then we moved up to Traverse City. Okay. And so we brought, at that time we had him and Luke, And we brought them up here. And I always knew in the back of my mind that he probably was not going to be with us very long, just because his immune system had been suppressed for so many months. And then we ended up finding out he had lymphoma.
Oh.
And so the vets here we've had great vet experiences here in Traverse City, but they really encouraged us to do chemotherapy because he was only 5.
Okay.
And we just said right out of the gate, we're like, no, he has been through so much at this point. And not even the expense. That was, putting that aside. It was more just how much he had gone through physically. Right. And we said to the vet, we said, we can't. You just want him in good conscience, put him through that again.
You just want him to be a dog at that point.
Yeah. So we just, kept him comfortable for the last couple months of his life. And so he was the one that we lost. He was 5. And so that was hard.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
5 is very young for a dog.
Yeah. But he had just been through so much in his short little life. But my husband likes to say that, again, God puts these dogs in our lives for a reason.
I think so.
We gave him a really good quality of life for the short amount of time he was with us.
If any dogs are watching and you're looking for a good home, I think I know some people that'll take good care of you.
Oh,
just show up on their doorstep.
All of the dogs in heaven are spreading the word.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, did that scenario change the way that you and Bill thought at all about like emergency expenses for your pets? Did you feel the need ever to keep like money aside specifically for scenarios like that? Or did you guys just continue to kind of go with the flow and deal with it as it came on?
We just continued to go with the flow.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We had looked at pet insurance options.
Yeah. I'm curious if you guys are pet insurance people.
We are not, mainly because... and I'm not like being negative about pet insurance at all. It just did not seem to fit what we needed. And like with Gunther, once we looked into it, he already had a pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
So the pet insurance is not going to work. Same with Harley. And back then, pet insurance was not a big thing.
Yeah.
I know it was around, but it wasn't talked about like it is now. And so we just have always been in a position where we're able to just go with the flow and pay for things when it comes up.
Gotcha.
So we just never really explored it.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've never done anything with pet insurance either, so I can't talk on that. I do know some people who have, but I'm sure, like you said, it works for some people and some pets, but not others. So,
and I think if people are interested in pet insurance, I think they need to have a really good conversation with their vet because we did have vets through the years. And again, it could be because our dogs had issues that did not really, they weren't really in favor of pet insurance based on our current situations.
Gotcha.
Like it would not have helped us.
Okay.
And so I would just encourage people to have a good conversation with your vet about it before spending the money.
Yeah, good advice. Have you ever had to replace something that your pets absolutely destroyed?
Yes, carpeting.
Oh, all carpeting? Like one room?
Well, so no, carpeting, it started out in one room, which is when we went back to the remodel. Going back to that story. So when we got Luke, our German Shepherd, not only he had separation anxiety.
Oh, okay.
And so before we got him into training, I had Berber carpeting in my house, and he had somehow in his crate had moved the tray out from under his crate, and so he was laying on the carpet, and he had like pawed at it and snagged it.
Oh.
And Berber carpet runs.
Yep.
So I remember coming home from work, and I opened the door to the bedroom where his crate was at, and all I see is him sitting in his crate like a little angel, and there's this mound of carpet in front of his crate. And I thought, it's not registering what's going on in my brain at this point. And I just shut the door, and I called my husband, and I said, "Find this dog a new home."
There it is. There was her moment.
Not gonna work. And that was that was eye-opening. And that was when we discovered that no, we're gonna spend the money and we're gonna send him to somebody that can train a German Shepherd to be a better dog. So
wow.
Yeah. So we had to replace the carpet. So we ended up doing a full remodel and did hardwood floors.
Okay.
So
and
it was a win-win.
I was going to say it's a win in the end, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Well, have your pets ever influenced a major financial life decision for you guys? Besides hardwood floors.
I don't think they really have. The only thing I will say they have influenced, not this year per se, but like the last probably 2 or 3 years, we've foregone vacations.
Okay.
Because our dogs at the time both had major surgeries and health issues, and so the expenses were a little higher. And so I would say that came into play. Like, okay, I guess we just we'll hold off on vacations for now, but that's probably it.
Okay. That's not so bad.
Mm-mm.
Although I do love a good vacation. So.
I know. And so, yeah, we did finally take one this year, so we're good.
You did. Yes, you did. Yes. And it was worth it, right?
Yes, it was.
Good. Glad you guys got that in.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a pet expense that is totally non-negotiable for you? Like, you don't care what it is, you're going to spend the money on it no matter what.
Yeah. So definitely we would spend the money on training for sure. That's non-negotiable.
Okay.
I think any dog, and we did not, again, we used that with Luke. We did not use that with our first two. But the last 2 of the last 3 dogs that we've had, going through training made a world of difference. So a non-negotiable would definitely be training.
Okay.
Also, if you were to get a puppy,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to make me sound very bougie. A non-negotiable for me would be doggy daycare.
Okay. And why is that?
So Hugo,
Mm-hmm.
the last dog that we got as a puppy, he was deaf. And so we got him into training. And at the time, the trainer was getting ready to start up his doggy daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And so we enrolled him in daycare, and he went to daycare 5 days a week for probably the first 3 years of his life.
Wow.
And it was the easiest puppy I've ever had because he was tired.
Okay. So just like sending your kids to daycare,
Yep.
they run around and play all day.
And he was social.
That's good.
Incredibly social. I was in my 40s, so I was tired.
Yeah.
It was, I would go pick him up at the end of the day. He'd barely make it through dinner, and he would sleep through the night.
Oh, sweet boy.
Yeah. It was the best thing ever.
What made you guys stop doing the doggy daycare with him?
We got Maggie,
Mm-hmm.
our first Newfoundland that we had, and she did not like to ride in the car.
Okay.
And so when I would try to take him in the mornings, she'd be like, well, where's he going? And why am I not going with you? And so we ended up just tapering it off and not taking him so that she wouldn't have her feelings hurt when I left the house with him.
That's so sweet.
So yes, we are those people that put a lot of thought into that.
Well, you're kind of answering my next question a little, but I'm still going to ask it. What is the most spoiled thing that one of your pets has received over the years?
Oh gosh. Honestly, probably Hugo with the daycare
Okay.
because he loved it.
Yeah.
And it was,
And you loved it.
yeah. So I would say that, although I will say Rosie right now with how we prepare her food.
Okay. Those strawberries, blueberries, and pumpkin.
And her regular food.
Yeah. How do you prepare it? Besides putting all that on
You
it?
just put it all in and just like all on time. I mean, you don't mix it in. You just kind of like
Do you separate the berries and the pumpkin?
Bill does. I do not. I just dump them right on top. But
he separates it like a charcuterie board. It's all pretty.
It's like,
that tracks with Bill.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I know. But Rosie gets special care right now because she is currently our only dog.
Okay.
We've always had at least 2.
Did you guys notice how she said currently? Like they're already thinking that there could be another one out there.
Oh, there will be. There definitely will be. So she gets extra special treatments and she's currently by herself.
She's a princess.
Mm-hmm. She is.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Nicole, what is one thing that you have learned about pet expenses over these 7 dogs and 4 cats?
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. That you wish you knew at the beginning of your pet ownership journey?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say but then we'd all wish we had a crystal ball so you could see into the future.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought more about unexpected emergencies.
Like rabbit poop.
Like rabbit poop, yes.
And heartworms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. and torn ACLs.
Yes.
And
Oh,
things like
you haven't
that.
even talked about the torn ACLs.
No, we have not.
So I got to circle back a little bit.
Yeah.
So the heartworm stuff and was it the gastrointestinal stuff?
The inflammatory bowel disease.
Okay. Was that more expensive than the torn ACL?
It was.
Wow. That's crazy.
The heartworm was not. The gastrointestinal issues with Gunther was our biggest expense through the years.
So you got to Maggie's torn ACL and you're like, this is fine. This is a breeze.
It's like coffee money. It's fine. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think pet ownership has been more expensive than you expected it to be? Or did you think 100% you were going to spend this much back then?
No, I would say it's definitely been more expensive than we anticipated.
Okay.
However, that's probably our own fault because we tend to gravitate towards dogs that have health issues or are in need of a good home, and there's usually some underlying issue that needs to be taken care of. But yes, I would say it's definitely been more expensive than we had initially expected.
Okay. But hey, shout out to you guys for that because not everybody would take animals like that. So someone's got to and give them a loving home. So thank you guys for being the ones to do it.
If my husband had his way, I would have an entire house full of dogs with special needs.
I think that's your future. I think that's what you guys need to look at, in like a fun retirement job.
Yes.
I guess you wouldn't be totally retired with that, but
exactly.
As we know, it's a lot of work. But maybe you guys are kind of open up an animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
For those kinds of pets.
Yeah. His ideal thing right now would be if we had a house full of Newfoundlands.
Oh, that's a big house.
Which and anybody that has ever had a Newfoundland can attest to this. They are a dog like no other dog. Their soul is just incredible, but you have to be used to and okay with Newfie boogers hanging from your ceiling because they shake and they drool and stuff goes everywhere. So
I can't do it. I feel so bad because I swear some of the cutest dogs are those big, drooly, boogery dogs. And
yeah.
I can't do it. I am not that person. I so wish I was for that reason, but I can't do it.
No, I get it. Yep.
Good for you guys, though. Yeah, good for you guys. They are adorable. So,
yeah.
Okay. This is the part of the segment, if you've watched the show, Nicole, where we do Money Minute. So I'm just going to ask you a few very quick-witted questions.
Okay.
Answer the quickest and the most honest that you can.
Okay.
Ready? All right. Most expensive pet?
Gunther.
Biggest troublemaker?
Hugo.
Pet most likely to send you an unexpected bill?
Would have been Maggie.
Okay. Most ridiculous purchase for a pet?
I would say probably Hugo.
What was it?
Well, I did a little pool for him and he didn't want to use it.
Okay.
So, and it wasn't very expensive, but probably the most ridiculous thing I've done. Oh, he needs a pool.
Hey,
and then he didn't use it.
Okay. One pet expense that's absolutely worth it?
Doggy daycare.
Okay. One pet you questioned if it was worth it?
that would have been Luke before we got him into training.
Okay. One pet expense that people should plan for before bringing an animal home?
Gastrointestinal issues.
Okay. Because dogs eat bad.
They
right?
do. Yes, they
Literally.
They do.
Okay. Good. This is the end of the show, so just a couple more questions for you, Nicole. Have you, this is a big one, ever added up the dollar amount that you have spent on your 7 dogs and 4 cats? And if you have, give it to us. Tell us what it is.
So
I feel like I need a drum roll.
You do. You're going to need a really big drum roll.
I'm scared.
I did a quick estimate and an average of over the last 30 years with that type of expense. And with the added medical expenses that we've had through the years, we are probably looking at between $300,000 and $350,000 in expenses.
I was not expecting that.
I was not either when I did my quick, because it's a daily thing that you just, you buy their food. It's like buying groceries. And so through the years, we just never gave it any thought until I just did a quick estimate and like I literally almost fell off my chair.
I mean, like I'm kind of, my eyes are a little welled up for you right now.
Yes.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
How do you feel when you look at that number on paper? You're like, the other things you could have done.
Correct. I will. Yes, there is some of that.
Have you told Bill yet?
I did, because he came in with a really low number and I was like, I don't know about that. But I also look at that and realize how fortunate him and I have been to be able to do that.
Despite all of these costs, why are these fur balls worth it?
Oh my gosh. Because they bring so much joy to your life. Mm-hmm. Even when they're chewing up a shoe or ripping up carpet and you've lost your ever-loving mind.
Throwing up on a rug.
Throwing up on a rug. They love you unconditionally. Mm-hmm. And nothing is better than that.
So no regrets?
None whatsoever.
Okay. Any words of wisdom to anyone out there listening who is maybe getting ready to have their first pet?
If you are not in a position mentally or physically or financially where you can deal with an unexpected expense, think really long and hard before doing it, because they are a lifelong commitment when you get them. Mm-hmm. And that would be my advice. So if it's, they're cute and they're in a pet store. First of all, think really hard before getting it from a pet store. But second of all, just think, okay, they're cute as a puppy, but they do grow up and expenses get bigger the bigger the dog gets.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're thinking long and hard about all of that.
Yeah. We'll leave Nicole's number if you have questions. I'm just kidding. We won't do that, but she is kind of an expert. So
we've had our share of dogs to deal with. So
yes, you have. Well, thank you guys for all of the homes that you have made for these animals. That's amazing of you guys.
Yes.
So
you're welcome.
No matter what, you've welcomed them with loving and open arms.
We have. Yeah. Yes, we have.
All right, Nicole. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, being so honest with us about that $300,000 bill. Wow. That's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been a condo in Florida.
It could have been a lot of things, but it was those 7 adorable dogs and 4 adorable cats. So
brought us so much joy.
Yes, they have. Well, thank you again for coming on the show and being honest about it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Bleep the Budget. Catch you next time.